This is the iPhone Air, and this is the iPhone 17 Pro. And for the first time in a while, it's not as simple as saying just buy the Pro if you want the best, because Apple introduced a completely new model this year, the iPhone Air, and now fans are asking, do I want the Powerhouse Pro or the super slim Air? And I'm not gonna lie, I've been testing both these phones quite extensively over the past couple weeks, and I'm quite surprised by how similar they are. In fact, there are more similarities with these two iPhones than differences. Both rock the same blazing fast A19 Pro chip, both have gorgeous Super Retina XDR always-on displays with ProMotion, and their prices are only about $100 apart. But once you dig deeper, I do admit that the small differences might make for big decisions when deciding for which one to get. So in today's video, we're breaking down iPhone Air versus iPhone 17 Pro. We will discuss design, performance, cameras, battery life, and much more. And hopefully by the end of this video, you'll know exactly which one makes most sense for you. So let's dive in. First, let's start with design, because this is where the Air makes its boldest statement. The iPhone 17 Pro is classic Pro. It's 8.75 millimeters thick, weighing 206 grams with a solid aluminum unibody design. It's chunky, sturdy, and you definitely know it's in your pocket. And the Pro Max is also slightly thicker and heavier than the standard Pro. The iPhone Air, however, is a whole different story. It's just 5.6 millimeters thin and 165 grams light. It is the thinnest iPhone Apple has ever made. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels like holding a sheet of glass and metal. Sleek, modern, and surprisingly strong thanks to its titanium frame. Apple even calls it their most durable iPhone yet, and after a week, I'll admit, slipping this into my pocket, carrying it around all day even with the case, it genuinely feels like a breath of fresh air compared to the heavier Pro. And let's not forget colors. The Pro comes in bold shades like cosmic orange and deep blue with silver, while the Air keeps it refined with sky blue, light gold, cloud white, and space black. So here's the deal. If you love the feel of the slimmest phone Apple has ever made, the Air will tempt you. It's perfect for the mainstream audience who also value a much thinner and lighter form factor, because let's be honest, over the past few years, phones have gotten bigger. Now, some of you will say, does it really matter that much? And I'll say yes. When you are holding a device in your hands throughout the day or putting it in your pocket, even 1 gram and 1 millimeter makes a big difference. Now let's talk about screens. Both phones have stunning Super Retina XDR displays supporting 120Hz ProMotion, HDR10, and Dolby Vision. The iPhone 17 Pro starts with a 6.3-inch display, while the Pro Max stretches it to a massive 6.9 inches, the biggest ever on an iPhone. The iPhone Air sits right in between at 6.5 inches, which I think is the perfect sweet spot for most people. It's big enough for movies and games, but still comfortable for everyday use. It doesn't feel too small nor too large. I actually think it's the perfect screen size. Also, both the Air and Pro can hit a blinding 3000 nits of peak brightness and drop all the way down to just 1 nit, which is perfect for outdoor sunlight and late night scrolling. Now with audio though, this is where things get a little split. The 17 Pro has a stereo speaker setup with a 4-mic array for richer sound. The iPhone Air, however, keeps it minimal with a single top speaker and simpler mics. However, I will say this. For casual listening, the Air is perfectly fine. In fact, I don't personally care too much about audio since I'm usually wearing AirPods during the day or using CarPlay and AirPlay when I'm using my phone to play music in my car or in the house. But if you care about booming sound for Netflix or gaming, the Pro definitely pulls ahead. Now here's where things get a little spicy: performance. Both devices are powered by the A19 Pro chip, which Apple calls the fastest CPU ever in a smartphone. Apps launch instantly, multitasking is smooth, and even demanding games fly. But there's a twist. The iPhone Air's GPU is binned, meaning it only gives 5 GPU cores compared to the Pro 6. But in everyday use, trust me when I say this, you're not going to notice. But in high-end gaming or graphics-heavy editing, the Pro will handle it better. But like I said, for all those essential tasks that we do on our iPhones day to day, you are perfectly fine. But another thing to consider is cooling. The 17 Pro uses a vapor chamber system that keeps performance steady under long loads and also doesn't get as hot as the previous Pro phones would. The Air, being so thin, doesn't have advanced cooling, so that means you may see thermal throttling if you push it too hard. But now let's discuss the one thing that stopped me from switching from the Pro to the Air: the camera. The iPhone 17 Pro is a content creator's dream. You get a 48 megapixel main sensor, a 48 megapixel telephoto lens with up to 8 times optical zoom, and a 48 megapixel ultra wide with macro support. You also get a LiDAR scanner, you get ProRAW and ProRes support, cinematic and 4K HDR, Dolby Vision at 120 frames per second, and even spatial video recording as well. With the iPhone Air, however, things are a little simpler. You get a 48 megapixel main camera just like with the Pro, but with 2x zoom. You also get night mode and deep fusion and 4K 60 frames per second Dolby Vision video, so it's more than enough for everyday use, Instagram shots, or family photos. And honestly, the results really surprised me. And if you actually compare a picture taken from a Pro and an Air, you're not going to tell a difference. But you don't get telephoto, you don't get ultra wide, or those pro level video tools. So if you're serious about photography or video, it's Pro all the way. But if you just want solid, simple photos, the Air nails it. And I've said this in my previous videos as well, that most people I have observed just take their phones out and snap photos. They're simply just capturing images, and the images you get are fantastic with the Air. But like I said, this also varies from person to person. I need cinematic mode and ultra wide, and only the Pro provides me with that. Now, both phones come with Wi-Fi 7, Bluetooth 6, dual eSIMs, and Apple safety features like crash detection and SOS via satellite, but the Pro edges ahead in 2 big ways. It supports millimeter wave 5G for ultra-fast speeds, and its USB-C port runs at up to 10 gigabits per second transfers, which is perfect for creators moving big files. The Air, however, is limited to sub-6 5G and 480 megabits per second USB-C. And to be honest, this is fine for most people, but creators will feel the bottleneck. Now let's discuss battery life. And I'm just gonna say this, the iPhone 17 Pro is a beast, as it gives up to 33 hours of video playback with fast charging to 50% in just 20 minutes using a 40-watt adapter. Now, the iPhone Air is obviously a lot thinner, so it doesn't pack in as large of a battery, but it does get you 27 hours of playback and 50% in 30 minutes with a 20-watt adapter. Not bad, but clearly a compromise for thinness. However, it also comes down to lifestyle. I'm someone who works from home and usually have my phone on a MagSafe charging stand, and when I'm driving, I have the phone set in a wireless charging pad as well. So for me personally, battery life is not really an issue. But of course, for testing purposes, I tried both the 17 Pro and the Air from 100% battery around 7 in the morning, and at 10:30 at night, the Air would be around 7 to 10% and my Pro Max would be around 20 to 25%. But keep in mind, I don't consume a lot of content on my phone or playing games. I do a lot of content consumption on my iPad or my TV. But here's the kicker, price. The iPhone 17 Pro starts at $1099 for 256 gigabytes, and the Air starts at $999 for the same 256 gigabytes. That's just a $100 difference. But you see, this isn't really a price-driven decision. It's about what you value. Pro features or slim design. All right, so here's my honest takeaway after using both these devices for a couple weeks now. The iPhone Air is the most exciting iPhone Apple has released in years. It makes using a phone feel fun again. It's slim, portable, comfortable. For everyday use, I actually prefer it over the Pro. But the iPhone 17 Pro is still the ultimate iPhone, especially if you're a creator, gamer, or power user. The Pro, it's smarter. It's got a bigger battery, pro cameras, faster transfer speeds, better cooling. It's built for heavy lifting. And I said this in my review too, that the iPhone Air, in my opinion, is still the best iPhone for most people. But at the end of the day, it's not about what's better or worse. It's about what fits your lifestyle. So what do you think? Are you Team Air or Team Pro this year? Drop your pick in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button, subscribe for more Apple deep dives, and I'll see you in the next one.